All right, check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. It's Coach Ray from Yeah Sports, and I am with
Nikki from Raising Leaders.
And you are now listening to Primetime with Playmakers. Let's give a little brief introduction about what you can expect from us. Okay, so with Primetime Playmakers, we're going to be giving you some of the latest and greatest news, updates, and information dealing with high school and youth sports. We're going to be covering different topics. We're going to be interviewing athletes, coaches. Nikki, what you going to bring to the table on your end?
Other than that, we're going to be diving into sports and providing parents and players with resources.
Yep. So stay tuned, stay locked in. Like I said, the latest and greatest news of all the latest topics dealing with sports. And starting with, how about let's talk about the whole youth football.
Okay.
Let's talk about youth football. Let's give a recap of the season. Frankfurt Chargers 8U. They were the national champions.
Yes.
AYF national champions.
Shout out to Coach Juice.
Yep, shout out Coach Juice, the only national champions in the city. That's a great accomplishment for the city, especially for those kids. That's something they'll probably remember for the rest of their lives, being 8 years old and being the best team in the country. So they were first-time national champions, but they were back-to-back city champions. But we have city champions throughout the whole city of different leagues. So let's spend some time shouting them out. We got PA Elite AYF.
Yes.
NESAC UIFL champions. We have what?
LYAA, Pop Warner.
Yep.
MAD 215 AAU.
Yep.
And
Bucksmont, all the Bucksmont teams, Bucksmont, Pop Warner. And then lastly, we have
the KSL.
KSL. So all of those teams that won their championships from 6U to 14U, we want to send a huge congratulations. That's something that's a huge accomplishment. A lot of you guys probably going to be getting your championship jackets and championship rings. And, that's just something to look forward to. Now, had your team not won a championship, let this be motivation for you guys. You know what I mean? Get back to the drawing board, figure out what needs to be corrected, and let's get to it. You know what I mean? Now, look, also, most importantly, for all those teams that won their league championships, just a reminder, we do have a youth football awards show that we have every year where we honor those kids and award those kids, and we have an award ceremony for them. So stay tuned for more information about that. But speaking of all the champions and stuff like that, we need to come up with a top 5 list. Top 5, pound for pound, from 6U to 14U of some of the best teams in the city that we think, if we made a list, who will we list, right? So what I did was I talked to coaches from all over the city. Like I said, we just named about like 5-6 different leagues. So I tried to, get an interview with coaches from different leagues, different teams. Some of their teams won a championship, some of their teams didn't. And I just wanted to get some input and their perspective on, who they think are the top 5 teams in the city. So what we're going to do right now is play some of those interviews of some of those coaches, and we're going to get their perspective on who they believe are the top 5 teams in the city. All right, I'm here with Coach Chino, the North Philly Blackhawks, the Mafia 9U. Hey, Coach, could you give us your top 5 pound for pound teams in the Philadelphia city?
Yes, I would give you number 1, Frankfurt Chargers, 8U. Number 2, I would have to go Outlaws, North Philly Blackhawks. Number 3, I would have to go TMT. Number 4, I would go Pressure Pups. Number 5, I would go the Chasers.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thanks for checking in.
You're welcome.
Next on the line, we got Coach Harold from the Island Eagles 8U champion, I might add. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, listen. We listed our top 5 pound for pound from 6U to 14U, top teams in the city. What's your top 5?
My top 5, let's start number 1. Number 1 for me is unanimous, clearly, Frankfurt Chargers. Number 2, I was back and forth between the Blackhawks 11U and 12U. I'm going to go with 12U. Number 3, I'm going to go with the 11U. Number 4, I'm going to go Blackhawks 10U. In my 5th spot, I'm going to go with Overbrook Monarchs 10U.
Well, listen, man, it was good talking to you, Coach, man.
Yep, no doubt.
Next up, we got Coach Ryan from the BLE Huskies 10U. Give me the best 5 teams that represented Philadelphia.
All right, so number one, man, straight off the rip, I'm going with Frankfurt Chargers 8U. Number 2, I'm going to go with Blackhawks 12U TMT. Number 3, I'm going to go with Outlaws from the Blackhawks. Now, where it get tricky at 4 and 5?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Blackhawks 6U.
Okay.
Damn, number 5. I'm gonna go with Blackhawks 10U.
Well, listen, Coach, we appreciate your input. We appreciate your time.
For sure.
All right, check. We were Coach Rob from the Parkside Saints 10U LYAA champion. Hey, Coach, how you doing today?
How you doing, Coach?
All right. Listen, man, we going around talking to different coaches from different leagues because we want an unbiased opinion to help us come up with a top 5 list of the best 2024 Philadelphia youth football teams. Give us your top 5 teams.
Number 1, Frankfurt Chargers 8U. Number 2, Blackhawks 12U. 3, Blackhawks 11U. What I say? 4, E9 12U. And 5, Savage Unit.
Well, listen, man, we want to wish you luck moving forward and keep doing what you're doing. And, you know, you're definitely a pillar to the Parkside community, and just keep doing what you're doing, all right?
Appreciate you so much.
All right, Coach. Thanks for tapping in.
All right.
So now we got Coach Mill tapping in from the Sturgis Hornets 9U, and we want to know from 6U to 14U, pound for pound, who are the best top 5 teams in the Philadelphia area in those age brackets. What you got to say about that?
Number 1, you got to go with Frankfurt Chargers. That's the national champions. There's no debate about that. Number 2, I got Blackhawks 11U, actually. Blackhawks 11U. So number 3, you got to go with the money team. You know what I'm saying? Blackhawks 12U. I'm going to go with BGH for number 4. If I'm going 5, that's what I'm going with. I'm going with E9 12U.
Well, listen, man, you know, we always locked in with Sturgis. You know, we always tapped in with y'all guys, and we always want support. And you know what I'm saying? Stay tuned and keep an eye on y'all, all right?
I appreciate that, bro.
Appreciate you, my guy.
All right.
We got Coach Stokes, head coach for the Overbrook Monarchs, a.k.a. Zone 6, the 10U, which is the NESAC champs. Give me the top 5 teams from the 2024 season in Philadelphia.
All right. Hands down, off rip, you know we gotta go Frankfurt 8U. They number 1 to me. Number 2, I would have to definitely, I gotta still keep TMT right there at number 2. Number 3, I will have to go somebody that dump. Oh, I'm going Blackhawks 11U. I'm definitely going Z6-4.
Zone 6 at 4.
I'm going Zone 6-4 all day. If I'm being unbiased, I'll put BGH at 5. Some people probably put somebody definitely I'll put us at 4, them at 5, just because of who I am.
Hey, listen, man, like I said, congratulations on the successful season y'all had last year, and good luck moving forward, all right?
You already know. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you. Next, we got tapping in Coach Jay from the Inner City Warriors 9U, and we trying to figure out the top 5 pound for pound from 6U to 14U. Give me your best 5 teams to represent Philadelphia from last season. What you got?
First, I would go Blackhawks TMT, the money team. Second, you got to go with the national champions, Frankfurt Chargers. Blackhawks 11U will be 3. 4, probably BGH. And 5, I'm going with Gang Green.
All right, cool. Well, we definitely appreciate your opinion.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Next, we got tapping in Coach Tato, formerly from the 2-on-5 Extreme. He was the 2-on-5 Extreme 7U LYAA champion. What's your list? Give me your number 1. Start with your number 1.
Number 1 definitely got to be Frankfurt Chargers 8U. Number 2, I'm going to have to go with my OG down there, TMT Money Team. Number 3, this regular tough. I might go be controversial here, man. I might start some stuff, but I'm gonna have to give it to Mafia.
Mafia?
I'm gonna have to give it to Mafia. Shout out to West Philly. Number 4, I can't deny that body of work. That's led by Money Mace. BH 11U last year. So they definitely number 4. Number 5 is looking like West Philly again. They 8U. They made it to a national championship game.
We appreciate what you do for the kids, for the community. I appreciate you because every time I host any type of event, you first one on the phone, willing to help out. And that's what I'm saying. We really appreciate that. All right, bro?
Yeah, appreciate you, right?
Yep.
Shout out EA Sports, yep.
And there you have it. We got some input from a lot of coaches from different leagues. We wanted to have this list to be unbiased, right? So using that information, we also created a poll on our Instagram, on the EA Sports Instagram page, and got some feedback from, a lot of the fans and things of that. So we want to created our own Primetime with the Playmakers top 5 list. I'm going to have Nikki read them off, and I'll probably do some explaining.
At number 1, we have the Frankfurt Chargers 8U.
Now, for the number 1, I mean, like what other coaches said, it goes without saying, if you're the national champion, you're one of the best teams in the country, you got to be the best team in the city. So, like
Yes,
I said,
sir.
Congratulations to Coach Juice and all the other coaches on that staff. You guys put in the work and, keep up the good work.
Yes. Number 2, we have the North Philly Blackhawks 12U.
North Philly Blackhawks, 12U, a.k.a. the money team. They were the defending champs. They won it at 11U. And then this year they went back to the national championship. Unfortunately, they lost. But, if you finish second in the country, you definitely got to be one of the top teams in the city as well.
Number 3, we have the North Philly Blackhawks 11U.
Blackhawks 11U, a.k.a. the Outlaws. These guys at Nationals, AYF Nationals, they finished third, and they had a good season all year. They won convincing games against good competition. They were one game away from going to the national championship and finished third. But now, and at that one game that they lost, they could have won. So I'm looking forward to them competing next year and coming back with a vengeance.
Number 4, we have the North Philly Blackhawks 10U.
They're called the Big Game Hunters, a.k.a. BGH, the Big Game Hunters. These guys had a great year. They started off strong in the spring, competing on the national levels and beating teams. Then they had a great preseason beating teams. And then, they went down Florida. And in the first round, unfortunately, they had to go up against the team that won it, the national championships at 9 the previous year. So they was dealt a tough hand, and they lost in the first round. But, they finished off strong. I think they finished like 5th in the country. And they were definitely one of the best teams in the city.
Number 5 is the North Philly Blackhawks 6U.
Now, let's talk about this 6U team. They the babies. A lot of them was the first time ever playing football. Undefeated season all year. I believe they gave up very few points all year, especially in the city. I think they went all season. Maybe I might be wrong, but all season without giving up a touchdown. They maybe gave up 1 or 2. I'm not sure, and that's another team that went down nationals and competed. Like I said, we talked to different coaches. We wanted to be unbiased, to get, everybody else's opinions. And I tried so hard to fit in other teams from other leagues other than AYF, just to be fair. But, if we really think about it and sit down, these teams that we mentioned in our top 5 probably were. But there's other great teams we want to put on our honorable mention list, such as like the Overbrook Monarchs 10U, a.k.a. Zone 6. They had a great year. They went down Florida for UIFL. We had the West Philly Panthers 11U, a.k.a. the Mafia. They finished 2nd in UIFL and National, so we can't go without mentioning that. E9 Eagles 12U. They went to Florida. They were the Eastern Regional Champions for the Bucksmont for Pop Warner, and they won the Bucksmont League. Savage Unit 12U. They finished 3rd at AAU. You had the West Philly Panthers 8U. They finished 2nd. They lost in the national championship as well at UIFL. And then you had the North Philly Blackhawks 7U was a top 7U team in the city and was well-deserving. A lot of these teams were well-deserving to make our list. And you could argue, you could take some teams off, take some out, you feel me? And I didn't want to make this a heavy Blackhawk list, but real recognize real, and you kind of got to give it up to one of the best orgs in the team. Best orgs in the city. And, a lot of these teams we mentioned made it to nationals. So, that's our first quarter with football. We'll be back right after this. And we back. You hear that buzzard? That means we in for the second quarter, and we're going to switch the topic to high school basketball. We've having a great season. with the Philadelphia High School basketball, with the Catholic League, and then also with the Philadelphia Public League. Let's get into the current standings. Nikki, you start off. Read off the standings for the Philadelphia Catholic League, where we are as of today.
Okay, so for number 1, we have St. Joseph Prep. Number 2 is Father Judge. 3 is Roman. 4, Devon Prep.
5, we have Bonner.
6, we have West Catholic. 7, Archbishop Wood. 8, LaSalle College. 9, Archbishop Ryan. 10, Newman. 11, Archbishop Carroll. 12, Cardinal O'Hara. 13, Conwell Egan. And 14, Lansdale Catholic.
So that's our current standings of the Philadelphia Catholic League. And you know, with the Catholic League, everybody's goal is to get down to the Palestra, where, you know, make the Final Four, then ultimately win the championship. Right now, St. Joe's Prep, they've been rolling, undefeated, and they're looking to keep the ball rolling. Now, let's get into some of this Philadelphia Public League. There's still some things shaking out in the Public League that has to be figured out. But currently, right, we have 4 teams that are the number 1 team. So at the top of the brackets for each team, all right, we have Imhotep leading the way for one bracket. We also have Dobbins leading the way for another bracket. They're the number 1 seed in a bracket. And then we have Fells, a number 1 seed for another bracket. And then finally we have Gratz for the last bracket. This Imhotep team has won, I think, 3 straight Philadelphia Public League championships. And they're looking to, you know, remain on the throne as the Public League champ. So, you know, we're winding down with the season, and we're getting to the tail end of the season to see, you know, who will be crowned champions. So, Nikki, let's talk about last weekend, right? Mm-hmm. We went to a big-time game, right? Father Judge versus Archbishop Ryan, which is one of the best rivalries, high school rivalries in the city, and I'll probably believe in the country when it comes to a lot of sports, especially with football and basketball. But we checked out the basketball game. Before we give our opinion, right, we're going to have the coach of the winning team for Father Judge give us a little, you know, recap of his team performance.
Let's just talk about the overall performance of your team again. I think, you know, again, we stuck together. We made a big run in the fourth quarter. We made some shots in the fourth quarter. We were better defensively in the fourth quarter. We gave up 11 with our zone and did a good job of pinching and making some adjustments. But again, we stuck together. We played with energy. We fed off the crowd a little bit in the fourth quarter. We made a couple shots. Then, you know, we got on a run. That's one of the things we always do. We always make one big run. And, you know, for us, it was the fourth quarter instead of the first to the second quarter this time. And they came out and played a great game. You know, a rivalry game, you know, intensity and all of that. Or, you know, we just battled through it. And, you know, it meant something for us to win this game for that. Speaking of a rivalry game, let's just talk the significance. You know, the whole environment, the atmosphere was super crazy. Very intense. You know, let's just talk about how was it for you and how you think your boys responded. It's you know, it's I always talk about it's, you know, it's a great, it's outside of the Palestra, it might be one of the greater environments in the PCO when we get together from there with the students. You know, we're literally 2 miles down the road from each other. A lot of the kids knew each other growing up and things like that, which, you know, it feeds into it. But for us, it was another game. Like I say, it's another game. I know it's a rivalry game, but we need to take care of what we need to take care of. And we got, you know, none of our guys' goals was beat Ryan, right? The goal this year was to get to the Palestra and win a championship and, you know, get a home playoff game. And this is another piece to getting there. And we need to get through this hurdle. And for our seniors, it's a little bit special because they never beaten them. And I think Ryan, they had a T-shirt or something. They beat us 9 straight cons or, you know, 9 straight years, maybe 10 straight cons. And, you know, it was a chance for our seniors to get a win against every team in the PCO if they could get this win tonight. And we talked about that as part of their legacy coming out of here. It would be the first class that ever did that in the school's history. So it was important for them to get that win tonight.
All right, there you have it, Coach. With for Father Judge, you know, giving us a recap about that big time rivalry. Let's get your opinion, Nikki, on, you know, what you saw at the game.
I really enjoyed the game. It was a really good atmosphere. I saw that Father Judge started out strong. It was a really good game. I really enjoyed myself.
Cool. And how was the crowd for you? Was it intense?
The crowd was amazing. It was amazing. I've never seen something like this before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that game was definitely live. It was pretty dope. I enjoyed it. Make sure you guys go out and check it. We have the full game recap on our YouTube channel, Yeah Sports Media, where you can, go back and relive that game and see what we're talking about. Those high school kids go crazy. And then moving forward, this week there's another big time matchup with the number 1 team, that being St. Joe's Prep, versus the number 2 team, Father Judge. St. Joe Prep coming to this game. They're undefeated in the Catholic League. Mm-hmm. And then Father Judge, they're the number 2 team, and they're trying to, take that spot. So can't wait to check that game out. Get some highlights over that, and tap into that.
All right, folks, we're going to take a short break.
Y'all hear that gun? That means the race has started. We're on the third quarter of our segment. This is time to give you some up-to-date about the track and field world. With Primetime with the Playmakers, we're going to be covering, a whole multitude of different sports, different topics. For track, right, what's special in the track community is that on the University of Penn's facilities on their campus, they just built a multi-million-dollar indoor track, which will be a huge benefit to the track community, high school and youth and college and professional in our area. Nikki, you wanted to give us a little details about the facility?
Yes, the Center for Track and Field is a state-of-the-art indoor facility located in the southwest corner of the University of Pennsylvania campus. The $69.3 million, 73,000 square foot center was completed in late fall 2024 and officially opened in December 2024. There's some key features that the facility has. The center features a bank track designed for optimal performances and safety, throwing area, a dedicated area for throwing events such as shot, put, discus, and javelin. The facility includes 990 seats for spectators to enjoy the event. The center enhances and supports the Penn Relays, the oldest and the largest track and field event in the country.
Yeah, so the university's Penn is known for the Penn Relays. Like what you said is like the oldest ongoing track event. Is what's huge. Have you ever been to the Penn Relays?
No, I haven't.
Once Penn Relays come, I think it's like late March. It shuts the city down, especially in that area. You have high school. They actually start off with like elementary, like relay races. But they go from like elementary all the way to professionals. And I mean, it's definitely a spectacle. It's something that I think you should check out. And people from all over, I think Jamaica brings a bunch of high school teams. And it's
really?
Like, yeah, it's huge. It's huge, especially for like I said, the Jamaican high schools, the American high schools, and it'd be the U.S. versus the world for like the professional. And a lot of times during the, like if it's like an Olympic year, mm-hmm. A lot of the professional athletes come to train and get ready.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so that's the Penn Relays. But prior to the Penn Relays, we got to talk about, it's called the Ott Center, that new facility that they bought.
Yes.
Yeah, the Ott Center down at their indoor facility, I mean, is beautiful. Prior to, I think it opened in late fall, early December some type time.
Yes.
And prior to that, all of the clubs for like the youth teams and the high school teams, they would have to travel out to like Lehigh University, which is like an hour and a half away, or go way out. Like Ocean Breeze has a beautiful facility. That's out in New York. Mm-hmm. There's another facility out in New York called the Armory, like in like the Manhattan area. I mean, so in order for, and then also another indoor track locally is Widener University. They have like a little makeshift indoor track. There's a couple little indoor places, but I say all that to say, with University of Penn, building this new facility, it gives the parents, the athletes, the coaches, the optimum facility to use locally. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We don't have to wake up extra early for all this traveling and wear and tear on your car. I mean, the Philadelphia Public League has been hosting their events there. I got the opportunity to interview the chairman of the Philadelphia Track for high school, and I just want to play a quick snippet of that interview.
Dean Ladd. I am the chairman of track and field at Cross Country City of Philadelphia.
All right, cool, Dean, man. First, we want to give you guys a congratulations. You guys been running an awesome event here at the University Penn's track. Let's just talk about, the collaboration with UPenn and having the publicly indoor meets here.
Yeah, it's a tremendous collaboration. When this facility was built at grand opening, the In fact, people that the building's named for, Jane and Dave Ott, made a point to say that part of their mission was to get the Philly schools to look into this facility to help bring back the programs in the city. So, when they opened the facility, came to us and said, were you interested in meats? Dr. Lynch from the School of Philadelphia, the executive director of athletics, we sat down, and that's how that partnership that developed. And we had been working with them through things throughout the year, through Penn Relay, so there's just a natural progression, and the results will be tremendous.
Cool. Let's just talk about some of the local talent here. Quite a good amount of elite athletes and stuff like that. How has the talent and the results been? And how are we looking for the Philadelphia with the public league and as well as the Catholic league? With states coming around the corner.
I think obviously there's several athletes on both the boys and girls ends. Teams on the young man from Washington, Sean McCollum, is one of the top sprinters in the country. Engineering and Sciences girls teams, Columbo's girls team, they're two of the best in the state of Pennsylvania. I think this track is presented an opportunity for kids to consistently train, consistently race on the best facilities. I look at all the results week in and week out, start to see things that people are adjusting to it. The numbers of participants have increased tremendously. Same thing on the PCL ends. We have St. Joe Preps, the Sal's that are certainly going to be in the mix in some of the distance events and relays. I mean, I think one of the goals also at Penn is to, at some point, do what the Armory did up in New York. Give the city students the opportunity to compete, and then over the years see Philly get back to, I guess, where it was in its heydays, the 80s, the 90s. And I'm optimistic. It's been tremendous.
Cool. And then lastly, we had 6 weeks here. I guess we call them developmental meets. Now we're going to have the public league championships. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm just excited to see, selfishly, the parents and guardians an opportunity to come down, not to go to Lehigh, go to Albernia, to sit in here and bring track and field back into the city. I think the kids are excited. Just after today's week, there are teams that stepped up today that hadn't been quite running nearly as well. So I think it's going to be very competitive. My hope is that it comes out. Some of these speed decks, we get some people that enter the state and get into the state. The vibe of them, the meets have been tremendous. So I think it's going to be get ramped up next week.
Cool. Well, listen, man, we look forward to next week, and we can't wait.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. And there you have it, our interview with Mr. Dean, the chairman for the high school track and field here in Philadelphia. Like I said, that Ott Center is a beautiful facility. If anybody hasn't yet, they should try and get some chance to, go check it out. One of the next times there will be event taking place there will be next Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, the Philadelphia Public League Indoor Championship.
Okay.
Where, we'll have a lot of different athletes in the city, high school athletes in the city come out to compete to try to win the championship. Also, I think after that, there's for the youth track and field, there's something called the UAGTCA. That organization has been around for years, and they host meets. This is in the summertime. They usually host their meets like outdoors at like Northeast High School or sometimes at Germantown Super Site. But they were able to host their indoor meets at the Ott Center, which was they probably had record numbers of kids participating, and the crowd was huge, and I'm hearing great things about that. And I believe their next meet will be the 16th, I believe, of this month. And then speaking about the Philadelphia Public League Indoors Championships, quite a few athletes are, high up on the list of, winning championships. I think Dean, in our interview, he mentioned like Sean McCullough. He's one of the fastest kids in the nation, and he'll probably participate. And he does events like the 200, 100. Well, in indoors you do 60 meters. And then there's another kid. I don't believe he'll participate in a Philadelphia Public League meet because he doesn't attend any of those schools. Mm-hmm. But he's from Philadelphia. His name's Jaden Mims. He's one of the top kids in the country as well. He's like number 2 or 3 when it comes to like 300 meters, 400 meters. He's been having a heck of a season. He signed early. He's signed to run track for the University of Florida, which is a huge accomplishment. So all you track and field athletes, whether you high school or youth, we wish you guys luck with track track isn't a sport you play. You don't play track. You run track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So make sure y'all put that work in, do what you got to do to compete. Most importantly, with track, you're competing against yourself. And while competing against yourself, you're competing against that time. So whatever your time was, the last time you ran that particular event, you want to run a second or 2 or 3 faster. You feel me?
Do better, yeah.
All right, cool. And that'll wrap up our third quarter. And we'll be back to you soon with a special guest. We're here with the one and only. I mean, if you've been on the internet lately, especially following, high school football, youth football, I'm pretty sure you've seen this man. If not, I want to introduce Mr. Derek Tatum from Elite Talent Football. Nikki, go ahead, just read off his bio real quick so we can let the people get an understanding of who we're dealing with today.
Truly one of the motivational speakers in the country, Derek Tatum, a Cleveland native and football star. And Derek Tatum was All-State in 2 positions, safety and running back in high school, All-American. He went on to play at the University of Kentucky. He also played in NFL for Tennessee Titans and Seattle Seahawks. And arena ball for New York Dragons and Georgia Force. He has been coaching for the last 14 years. He has helped develop athletes and elite players while mentoring those young men to become successful in life. His motto is, in order to be the best, you have to train to be the best. He focuses on the fundamentals and techniques of playing football and acting with respect and integrity outside of football. I want to ask you a question. What motivated you to start Elite Talent Football?
Well, the main issue is I saw there's a gap in just the teaching of football, but not just the football, the business side of football. So I said I want to start a company that's going to not just train athletes physically, but also going to help them become better men outside of football and help them understand saying that from the transition from football to the real world and while you're in it, to be humble and to learn how to build relationships while you're still in it.
So what role does networking play in getting noticed by scouts, and how can parents and athletes build meaningful connections?
I mean, to me, networking is the most important thing. I think most people need to understand that you never know who you meet. And that's why I tell parents all the time and students, you never want to burn a bridge. You want to always stay in contact with people and always be nice to anybody you meet, because you never know where they would end up at. And relationships is worth more than money.
What are the best ways parents can support their children's athletic ambitions emotionally and practically?
The main thing I would tell anybody, the number one thing and number two thing. Number one is you gotta invest in your son and put him around the best coaches possible. All right, like stop being cheap. Stop saying you can't afford it. Because it is your fault if your sons or daughters do not get the proper coaching. Then the second thing is you got to choose the right schools. Like, it is your job, and quit making excuses of, I can't afford it. Well, figure it out. Because if your son not successful, it's on you. So you got to put your kids in the right school systems. All right, that's those 2 things right there. If a parent says, okay, I'm gonna make sure I invest in my kids, give them the best coaching possible, and I'm going to put them in the best school systems possible for their personalities, then you're going to win. But if you do it, but then if you do it any other way, you're going to be the one complaining about it. Oh, this coach can't coach. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, guess what, mom, dad, it's your fault. You put them in that situation, and I don't care where you live at. I don't care your situation. You have to sacrifice for your students.
What are qualities of a good coach? What parents should be looking for? Because, at this day and age, you have a lot of teams where some coaches are good X's and O's and some coaches are good recruiters.
Yeah.
So what would you think the qualities of a good coach?
Well, see, winning don't mean you always winning though. Like, I think people equate winning with good coaching. That doesn't mean just because you're winning, you could just have the most talented team. All right. To me, what I look at, okay, what kind of man is this guy is? All right. Is he a social media seeker? Is he just a dude that wanted everything about himself? Or is he a guy that's actually caring for the kids, taking care of the kids? Now, he doesn't have to have the best team. I want to see, is his team playing hard? I want to see, is the guys that left his program talk good about him, or are they doing well, on the football field? I want to see that. I want to see development. When I go out there and watch him, I want to see him coaching the kids. So now you can have both ways. You can have a coach that has a great program and has great kids, and he recruits well and coaches well. You can. But you also can have a team that's not as good, that's 500, and he can be a great coach. So you got to understand as a parent, okay, how's he relating to the kids? Okay, do people around him talk highly of this guy? And is he developing these young men? That's what you got to look for as a parent, and that's what I look for every time.
How can parents and athletes identify legitimate NIL opportunities?
Well, okay, so here's the reality of it. Everybody not about to get NIL. All right, that's the reality of it. If you're not the top 5 in your position in the country, you won't get much NIL. So if you're going to see, like, I think people come into the situation thinking about NIL, and your son not even that guy. A regular 3-star, you're not going to get that much NIL. A regular 3-star. You have to be a 4-star or a 5-star. So you're talking about the top 100 and 150, maybe 200 kids in the country, 300 kids in the country. Those are going to be the ones getting NIL deals. Now, the thing is, you have to understand the landscape. And right now it's wild, wild west. So not many people understand it, but you have to get with somebody that's trusted, somebody that's been in the space, like myself or like people who like me, who understand the landscape. Because what's going on is I talked to a GM from a major university. I can't tell you university, but he said, Derek, when someone like you comes into the building, we know that we have to be fair as possible with the students and the parents. He said, but when a parent who thinks they know it all comes in here, we offer them a lump sum of money, and we know we're not giving them the most money because they don't know. So it's kind of like, you come into the building and you get offered $200,000 for someone that's never, had that much money or made that much money. That is a lot of money. It's a lot of money regardless. But they offer you $200,000. You say, yes, I'll take it, when you probably could have got $350, 375, 400. But you don't know that because you're happy with that. So you have to link with the right people that's going to help guide you through that process, and understand that your son has to be that guy though. Like you can't just be good. You got to be one of the top players in the country, one of the top 150 to 300 players in the country. So you got to be probably like a 4-star for you to actually really reap the benefits of NIL.
Nowadays, a lot of kids you're seeing with these offers. And I know on your channel and plenty other platforms, you talked about the difference between the way these offers are set up, and a lot of them are non-committable. Could you elaborate on that a little more?
Yes. So I'll say 75 to 80% of the offers are non-committable. All right. And that's not a bad thing though. What's going on is as you see, colleges are getting a better player. So when a kid gets an offer, all right, it's more just of a come. We want to see you in camp. Come to camp and secure your offer. That's what it is nowadays. Now, if you're one of the top 300 players in the country, your offers probably are more committable. Those offers are like 90 to 100% committable if you're one of the top 300 players in the country. But that's only for the top 300 players in the country. Everybody else, you're fighting to get to that spot. Mm-hmm. So when you get an offer, and you see all these guys with offers, for you to really solidify that offer, you got to go to that camp, go to campus, play it at that camp, and so they can see your height, your weight, your size, see how you interact, and then now you can secure that offer. So again, most offers you see right now are committable, all right, and that's just what it is. But that's not a bad thing, though. It's not a bad thing.
I believe it's just a new way of communication. So back in the day, I know when I was in high school, before you got an offer, you got a letter. The big thing is, I got a letter. I received a letter. I received a letter. So now these offers is like receiving a letter, like how it was years ago. Now, how do you feel about middle school kids receiving offers? Now, we know they're non-committable. You can't commit until like your junior year or something like that. But how do you feel, 7th and 8th graders receiving offers?
I mean,
you think that's a good thing, or?
I mean, it's a new way of doing business, man. It's just an interest. It just shows interest. To me, again, it goes back to they want to get in early on these kids. Like if a kid is a guy, he has good size like you can tell if a kid is in 7th grade and he's already 6'1", 6'2", you're like, well, hey, if he don't grow no more, he already has college size. So I can offer this kid now, get on the radar, build a relationship with him, and hopefully be able to get this kid. So it's getting crazy, but it's like, man, this is the new world we living in. And I like it because it's because I'm getting kids in 8th grade offers every single year. I mean, I had a kid in my camp pick up an offer the day of the camp at my camp in 8th grade, and that same kid ended up being a top recruit. So it's a catch-22, but it's just a new way of doing business.
And I also feel like it's very motivating to the kids receiving the offers, and then the kids who's not receiving the offers to want to be at that level as well.
For sure.
And then speaking of youth, how do you feel like the landscape of youth football right now?
Terrible, just terrible. Youth football, the culture is terrible. It's horrible. What happened was, and the reason why is because everybody want to team up and play on the same team. I don't know what's going on in your city, but I know we got 4 or 5 major teams and a bunch of slappies. Yeah. Like we got some really, really strong teams that are national powerhouse teams that's going to beat everybody in Georgia. They're going to go around the country and they're going to be top 5 in the country. Then we got a bunch of slappies because people have got away from their rec programs. And to me, when I go back and I look at it, when I look at the coaching, when I really look at my coaching, my rec coaching and my high school coaching was the best. My college and NFL coaching probably was the worst. All right. So we missing that element because parents ain't patient no more. If they ain't winning, they gonna leave. And then parents, they're the ones that's at the games fighting and cussing and yelling at referees and like I've never seen that before. And it going on, it ain't just in Atlanta, it's going on all over the country. Parents is fighting. Just a few weeks ago, a parent shot a damn coach because he didn't play his son. Like, man, like it's getting out of hand. I don't even like listen, I love the youth game, but I don't go to as many youth games as I used to because it's dangerous. Like it's what it is. The culture is terrible in most places.
Yeah, and that's something that needs to be addressed. I do believe, parents is taking the fun out of it.
Yeah.
To speak on the, with people clicking up and having like the local talent, I feel like it's like a catch-22. If you want to, because with the event of nationals, everybody want to be a national champion, so it's going to take those powerhouse kids to compete on a national level, but then it does hinders the local talent. When all the best kids in your area is all on one team, they're going to beat up on the local talent. Now I want to end this thing off on we call it 2-minute drill, where I'm gonna shoot off some questions for you, or I want you to list a couple things, and first thing to come to mind, don't give it no thought, just fresh off the top. All right. Top 3 things recruiters look for in athletes.
Size, character, and film.
The states with the best high school football.
Georgia, Florida, Texas.
No Cali?
Ohio.
No Cali?
Georgia, Florida, Texas, Ohio. Then Cali.
3 hardest positions to play.
Quarterback, cornerback, and offensive line.
Last one. Track or 707?
Track. 10 out of 10 times.
Cool. Well, listen, Mr. Derek, we appreciate your time. Before we check out, could you give everybody where they can find you if they not? Like I said, you've been all over the internet, so I'm pretty sure people, even if they don't follow you, you've been on their feed, been on their timeline. Where can they find you?
You can find me at elitetalentfootball.com or IG at Elite Talent Football, elitetalentfootball.com or at Elite Talent Football on IG. And I'm there every day. Like, guys, I'm just here for the people. I tell people I'm here for the people. I'm here to get people the right information, to get people a different side of what's going on. I'm here to pull back the curtain of what's going on behind the scenes in football. And I'm a truth teller. So when I'm talking, I'm telling the truth. You may not agree with me, but I'm just telling you what I've seen, not what I've heard, what I've seen.
Cool. And then lastly, we also know that you host one of the best camps throughout the country. Could you plug in those dates? So
yeah. So we got a camp coming out February 2nd. When it's aired, that camp will probably be over with. But we have another camp coming in DC, April 26th, 27th, and Morgan State. Then we have a camp after that in Kansas City, May 9th and 10th.
Cool. So y'all make sure y'all tap in with that. Some good work. Get good competition. Learn a lot. Compete and do y'all thing. All right. All right, and there you have it. Great interview with Mr. Derek Tatum. First episode ever, Dickie.
Yes.
Prime time
with the
Playmakers. Hey, let's close this out.
Thank you for tuning in to Primetime with the Playmakers. We covered a lot of ground in the world of sports today. I'm your host, Nikki, with Raising Leaders, and
this is Coach Ray from Yeah Sports, and we'll be signing out. See you guys next week. Thank you.
Thank you.